Most folks figure that the best way to get a mountain of late-season tomatoes is just to let those vines keep climbing toward the sky until the autumn frost finally knocks them flat. Well, I used to believe that too. But the truth is, letting your tomato plants keep putting all their energy into new growth this late in the season can leave you with a garden full of half-developed green tomatoes when the first hard frost arrives. Today, I'm going to show you how a few smart pruning cuts can help your full-sized green tomatoes get the best possible chance to turn bright red, rich, and sweet before cold weather shuts everything down. Here's the plain truth about how a tomato plant behaves as summer winds down. By late August, your indeterminate tomato vines don't know winter is coming. They just keep sending out fresh yellow blossoms, shooting new leafy suckers, and reaching for the clouds. But newly set tomatoes still need several weeks to grow and ripen, depending on the variety and the weather. If you look at your calendar, you may only have 30 to 45 days left before your region gets its first killing frost. That means many of the brand new flowers and tiny fruits appearing now simply won't have enough time to become ripe, usable tomatoes. Meanwhile, the larger green tomatoes already hanging lower on the plant are much farther along. By late season, you want the plant putting less energy into starting new projects and more energy into finishing the fruit it has already produced. I learned this the hard way about 15 years back. I had 6 gorgeous beefsteak vines that had climbed 7 feet high on tall cedar stakes. It was late August, and they were loaded with dozens of tiny yellow flowers at the very top. I felt so proud of how vigorous they looked that I couldn't bear to touch them with pruners. I kept watering, kept feeding them, and figured I'd be picking tomatoes well into autumn. Then mid-October hit with an unexpected hard freeze. I walked out that morning to a garden full of black, limp vines and 4 5-gallon buckets worth of rock-hard green fruit that never had enough time to ripen properly. All that beautiful late-season growth was suddenly worthless because the freeze had arrived before the fruit could finish. That painful morning taught me something I still remember every tomato season. Late August isn't just about growing bigger vines anymore. It's about helping the fruit you've already grown make it across the finish line. To get every last ounce of flavor and harvest possible before frost, there are 4 practical steps you can take this week. Step number 1 is what old-timers call topping the vine. Take a clean pair of sharp shears and walk up to each main leader stem. Find the highest cluster of fruit that is already full-sized or close to it, and make your cut a short distance above that cluster. You're removing the active growing tip so the plant doesn't keep endlessly reaching upward and producing more leaves and flowers. This doesn't magically force every tomato to ripen overnight, but it does stop the plant from putting so much effort into continued upward growth. At this stage of the season, that can help you concentrate the plant's remaining resources on the fruit that has already formed. Step number 2 is stripping off the small stuff. Go along the plant and pinch off the new yellow flower clusters and the tiniest baby fruits that clearly don't have enough time to mature before your expected frost. It can feel a little ruthless the first time you do it, especially when the plant looks so healthy and productive. But look at your calendar. A flower that opens near the end of the season still needs time to become a mature tomato. If your first frost is only a few weeks away, those brand new blossoms are competing for the plant's attention without giving you much chance of a finished harvest. Your goal now isn't to create more tomatoes. Your goal is to finish the tomatoes you already have. Step number 3 is clearing out the lower foliage. Cut away the bottom leaves from the soil level upward, especially leaves that are yellowing, damaged, or showing signs of disease. Don't strip the entire plant bare. You want plenty of healthy foliage remaining around the fruit. The reason for cleaning up that lower skirt is simple. Late summer can bring humid nights, damp soil, and poor airflow close to the ground. Removing unhealthy lower leaves and opening up that area can improve air circulation and help reduce the conditions that encourage common tomato diseases. Just remember to use clean pruners, especially when you're removing diseased leaves. You don't want to carry problems from one plant to another. And don't go overboard. Healthy leaves are still important because they capture sunlight and help the plant produce the sugars it needs. Late-season pruning should be selective, not a complete haircut. Step number 4 is adjusting your feeding and watering. If you've been giving your tomato plants a strong nitrogen-heavy fertilizer, this is the time to stop pushing leafy growth. Nitrogen encourages the plant to produce more stems and leaves, which isn't necessarily what you need when your main goal is finishing existing fruit. But don't make the mistake of starving or severely dehydrating your plants either. Tomatoes still need water to function properly, especially if the weather is hot and dry. Instead of deliberately letting the soil become bone dry, keep watering as needed to prevent serious wilting while avoiding constantly saturated soil. As the season cools and your plants slow down, their water needs may naturally decrease. The goal is balance. You want healthy plants with enough moisture to keep their leaves functioning without encouraging a huge flush of unnecessary late-season growth. And here's another important point. Don't remove healthy foliage just because you're trying to expose every tomato to direct sunlight. Tomatoes need healthy leaves, and too much direct sun on exposed fruit can sometimes cause sun scald. Think of late-season pruning as cleaning and redirecting, not stripping the plant bare. If you enjoy practical, no-nonsense tips that help you fill your kitchen with homegrown food every season, go ahead and hit that subscribe button below so we can keep our gardens thriving together all year long. Now, keep your local climate in mind. If you're gardening up north in zones 4 or 5, where frost can arrive by mid to late September, you may need to make these pruning decisions sooner. If you garden farther south in zones 8 or 9, your warm season may stretch much longer, so you can often wait longer before topping your vines. But don't rely on the hardiness zone alone. The better rule is to look at your local average first frost date and count backwards several weeks. That's your signal to start shifting from aggressive growth towards finishing the fruit you already have. And remember, the exact timing will vary with your local weather, tomato variety, and how healthy your plants are. To wrap it all up, remember the plan. Stop unnecessary upward growth by topping the main stems when your season is running short. Pinch off new flowers and tiny fruits that are unlikely to mature before frost. Clean away damaged or diseased lower foliage while keeping plenty of healthy leaves on the plant. And adjust your fertilizer and watering so you're supporting healthy ripening instead of pushing another huge flush of leafy growth. There is nothing quite like walking out into the crisp September air, reaching through the leaves and pulling off a heavy, sun-warmed tomato that has ripened naturally on the vine. It slices thick, smells like pure summer, and tastes like everything you worked for all season. So, don't be afraid of the pruners when late summer arrives. Use them carefully, pay attention to your frost date, and give the tomatoes that already made it this far the best chance you can. Take good care and happy gardening.